This video is called "It is Impossible to be Socially Normative and Mentally Healthy at the Same Time." Also, I will prove to you that mental health is subjective simply by creating a superior argument to theirs. So, either way you slice it, I'm correct. If you believe that mental health does exist, then my argument will be superior to theirs, and you'll be forced to concede my point. If you think mental health is subjective, then it is impossible to be truly mentally healthy and socially normative at the same time to the truest meaning of the word, because what is the meaning? It's subjective. It doesn't exist. First, let's look at serial killers, pedophiles who are fake Christians that have managed to take positions of social control. We'll look at mass murderers. We'll look at corrupt regimes. And we'll explore the idea that it is far more likely that a corrupt, unscrupulous, indecorous fiend will manage to gain a position of social control than a good person. And what is socially normative, if not that which people who have positions of social control and social engineering design? And I've covered these principles and these arguments time and time again. But I know there are many people that hold on to social norms with a death grip for dear life or something. At least they think they are. I would compare it to a baby in the desert that is holding on to a bottle full of oil because it has been trained to believe that only milk goes in that bottle. That is what every person who strives to be normal is doing. They have been trained to believe that whatever is in the bottle of normal automatically is good for them and will help them maintain their health, physical, mental, and otherwise. And they're holding on to it like that baby in the desert with a fucking death grip. And no matter how convincing an argument is to the contrary, they refuse to listen. Hey, I'm normal, pal, and I'm going to drink the oil. There's no reasoning with someone who has that sickness to such a high degree. There is no helping them transcend. They have a complex. And the people with complexes want you to pick up the most harmful complex of all. That is the normal complex. Because if sickos can convince you that their sickness is normal, you will accept it or adopt it as well. It is a kind of group sickness that only works when it is established in a group that it is normal, or that it is normal to try to be normal. We'll take the example of gays. We'll take the example of a pedophile priest. He's a gay guy. He wants 3 things in life that if you used your head, you would be forced to agree that that's what he wants. Number 1, he wants homosexuality to be considered normal. Number two, he wants pedophilia to be considered normal, like it was in ancient Greece, when learned men, like learned men of the cloth, used to go to young boys and court them and teach them how to be a man, kind of like what the priests are doing. The fake ones, that is. The ones I'm talking about. I mean, they're all doing that, but the fake ones are the ones I'm criticizing. So he wants homosexuality to be normal. He wants pedophilia to be normal. Number three, he wants it to be considered normal for a Nazi boy to be a priest. I apologize. That one doesn't sit well with me at all. Not at all. Anyway. So when gays are trying to win acceptance of their sickness in the mainstream society, they need to convince you that it is normal, that it is okay, and that it is abnormal to reject their sickness or to be disgusted by it. I'll tell you, brothers and sisters, this goes deep. This goes deep as a black hole, right into the depths of the abyss. Why was Satan trying to build his throne above God, my Christian brothers and sisters, my Muslims, my Jewish brothers and sisters? Why? Because he wanted it to be normal for people to believe that he was above God. Anyway, so for gays to get you to accept what they're doing as normal, they first need to analyze what it means to be gay. And what are the things that are keeping you from accepting gays to be normal, and to eliminate them, whether they are religion or whether they are aspects of homosexuality that are repugnant, repulsive, deplorable, and abhorrent to men of God, men of sense, men of righteousness, but more importantly, to the average person, to the normal complex having sheep. Pedophilia. I'm gonna give you a little phrase here. True or false? There are a large amount of gays who prefer little boys. Shall we explore why? Or do you believe me? Oh, for your sake, I hope you believe me. If you don't, we can really explore why in the comments. I might have to take a moment to throw the fuck up, but we can explore it. True or false? There are a large percentage of gays who prefer little boys. So therefore, if you are going to make homosexuality socially normative, you must also make pedophilia socially normative. Let's play true false again, shall we? There are a large percentage of gays who became that way from being raped as a little boy by gays who prefer little boys. So now you're starting to see how sick this sickness really is. It is contagious. It will spread if left unchecked. And the cure is a very serious approach to cleansing the individual and the nation of this sickness. Let's take the case of feminism. Feminists are a bunch of complex-having sissy whores that need to redefine what is normal so that everyone with the normal complex will be infected by their sickness. Do they spend all day and night crying about how women do men wrong? Do they balance it out? Or are they only concerned with things that upset women? Whether they're right or wrong, their concern is what makes women mad, what irks women. They say don't slut shame, but they're quick to help their fellow woman get revenge on a man who has cheated on them. They say don't fat shame, stop being petty and only wanting women for their looks, completely ignoring that physical attraction is an important part of a relationship. Not to mention ignoring the fact that most women, especially attractive ones, are gold-digging harlots, and they're silent about it. Don't forget they say don't objectify women. Their double standards are ridiculous. They are ludicrous, absurd, preposterous, and otherwise inconceivable. People with complexes, people who are bad people, define what is socially normative. Now, how can that be healthy? Let's put the word bad before health. If bad people define what is a socially normative mind state, therefore that socially normative mind state is bad health, bad mental health. If sick people with complexes define what is a socially normative mind state, then that socially normative mind state is sickness, not health. Why don't you see? If they are drugging you to minimize or sedate that part of your brain that causes you to feel moral outrage and righteous indignation, then not only is what they're doing creating bad health, but it is drugging those of us who have the best mental health. It is mentally healthy to be disturbed by what is wrong. And it is of the utmost and divine mental health to feel righteous indignation and moral outrage at that which is evil, demonic, scandalous, and dead wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, I implore you, it behooves you not to let a bunch of sickos define what is socially normative, and then, as if that is not evil enough, drug those of us who see what they're doing and don't like it. All right, so I forgot to bring up something. I read today that 1 in 5 soldiers, they commit suicide after becoming a soldier. I don't know if it's true or not. I do know that there is a problem with suicide. They usually connect it to PTSD and something like this, when it comes to the military. I would now assert, and I do not have definitive evidence that this is the case. I have strong suspicions and a whole lot of suggestive evidence, if you will, that this is the case. But I would venture to say that a large percentage, if not half or more, of those suicides have to do with soldiers asking themselves that infamous an unavoidable question. What were we doing there in the first place? Or what were we fighting for in the first fucking place? It is one thing to see the horrors of war, to kill people, to cause innocent people to die. When you cannot justify that by saying that there was a higher purpose or that it had to be done, where does that leave you then?